Here we go. Homework 2.5, questions 19 and 21. Let's try to do these really quickly and move on. We're going to try to get through 33. All right, for the first one, everybody on the block gets the paper. You should know this. Okay? Everybody on the block gets the paper. That means 2 times K is 2K. That means 2 times 14 is 28. Okay? And then I just bring everything else down. And I change the color of my pen. Now, this is transition, because there's variables on both sides, right? So I need to move the variables to one side and always move the lowest variable. So what's lower, 2 or 2? Good, 2. Glad we agree on that. So then I'm just going to move minus 2K, because you move 2 by doing the opposite, right? It's always transition, and we're going to move the opposite. Okay, so minus 2 and minus 2. What I do to one side, I have to do to the other. These cancel, and I get 7 is greater than 28. Is 7 greater than 28? No. Then that means no solution. Now, if 7 was greater than 28, that would mean all real numbers, right? Remember that? So when they were equal, remember 4 equals 4? It was all real numbers. In other words, if I would have had 7 is less than or equal to 28. 7 is less than or is 7 less than or equal to 28? Yeah. Then in this case, it would be infinite, or what I call all real numbers. Right? And for some reason, at my daughter's school, they call it ITM or something, infinite multiple solutions or something like that. Weird thing I've never seen before. I've seen both of these. These come up in math because in all math books you have infinity symbol and you have all real numbers. This is an actual symbol. I don't like to fill you up with non-real or things that you're not going to learn later in college. But in a lot of schools they do that. They just give you something that is pleasing to the eye, but has nothing to do with what you're going to learn later. In all of my math that I teach you, I will start to teach you a little bit of calculus in everything. You guys will learn calculus second semester. Okay? And you'll learn it again next year in geometry, again the year after that in Algebra 2, and again in pre-calc. And by the time you get to calculus, you're pretty much going to understand the first 3 months of calc. Okay? So this one, we're going to do the same thing. This case, we are transition. We have a variable on both sides, so we're already in the transition state, right? We're going to move the lowest variable. So what's lower, 4 or 9? 4. So how do I move it? By adding the opposite, right? What's opposite of 4y? Minus 4y. What do I do to one side? I do to the other. Now, in this case, I get 5y plus 3 is greater than negative 7. Okay? Then what can I do? This is just like before. Now we're just sad math. Doing the OPP, the opposite. So plus 3, we're going to do minus 3. What we do to one side, we do to the other. Now if you owe me $7 and you borrow 3 more, then you owe me, that's it. Okay? So we are negative 10. Okay? And then if I want to solve for y, okay? Now here's the beautiful part. Now we got to graph it. A lot of people go through a lot of things on how to graph. I'm just going to keep it real. Everything I teach you is simple. Now, it's not easy in the beginning. I always say it is. But it's not. Everything's tough. You have to learn it. But in time, it's going to become easy. All I want you to do, if the variable's on the left, otherwise we will have to flip it. Does that make sense? If we would have had -2 is less than y, you see how this is the same as this? I would have just had to flip it around. That's all. No big deal. Just flip it around. Okay? So that the variable's on the left. Once the variable's on the left, it's easy. I'm just going to do an arrow like this. It's not an arrow. Right? And I'm going to put a number in the middle, this number. Is it greater than or is it equal to? Is it greater than equal to or is it greater than, right? So what I'm going to do is I look at this. If there's no equal to sign, I have to put an open circle there. Okay? If there's no greater than sign, I have to put an open circle. That makes sense? This is an open circle. Okay? And then it goes in the direction of the arrow. The arrow goes that way. Then so does the arrow. Same direction. So y is greater than -2. Y is greater than -2.